Stepanka, maybe you could just start by introducing yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this spotlight. My name is Stepanka Elias, and I've been licensed engineer now for almost 25 years. And most of my working life I spend in facilities management. Someone asked me, what does it mean? And my answer to them, we are like the parents of the university or the parents, whatever, because the users come and the electricity is on, someone pays the bills, everything is working, places are clean. So facilities is those hidden people that keep things running.
You were the facilities director, is that right, for the University of Waterloo?
Yeah, so for almost 20 years, I worked at the University of Toronto, working
Okay.
from planning to designing, construction to facilities. And then I was the executive director of facilities at the University of Waterloo.
What got you into then facilities management? What took you into that direction?
Uh, I can tell you what got me into engineering, but
Yeah,
getting
okay.
me into facilities was really a natural path. I moved to the smaller campus of the University of Toronto, and I cannot sit on my hands. It's not in me. So I started doing whatever needed to be done. And before I knew it, I had a huge department under me trying to keep things organized and running and support a really growing campus at the time.
Okay. That's cool. And then you transitioned to the University of Waterloo.
It was, when you stay somewhere for 20 years or so, it's time to
Mm.
move on. Because at that time,
Mhm.
I thought I know everything about facilities. Like, how else can you do stuff? Well, I got a bit of a shock when I came to UW. Like, there is a different way of doing things. So it was an opportunity.
Mm.
It was chance to move to a smaller community. My dad and my aunt, I have few relatives here. So it was a chance to move out of the city and do a bit of a promotion for myself and take another step forward in my career.
U of T is a very scattered sort of campus all around the city. I guess University of Waterloo, lots of buildings, but a little bit more contained. Are there more fundamental differences than that?
No, I think you hit hit the right point, but it's exactly the opposite because I worked on the Mississauga campus, which
Okay.
has about 15,000 students, and things were centralized. Simple, get it done. It was incredible. UW is much bigger school, about four times the size and maybe three times more students. But because of the six really, really strong faculties, it is as decentralized as it gets. And UW pride itself of being decentralized, but it also means that things are done and agreed on in a very interesting way.
What's the bulk of the work? What is the sort of the principal engineering effort in managing facilities?
Um, I guess it depends. Like UW is a lot of the work gets done in-house, which means many good things. You employ people, they have unionized jobs, you pay them well, and you care. And at the end of the day, you have a team. And at the time, I had almost 500 people that many, not all, but many were incredibly dedicated to the school. And within that team, I had close to 200 custodians, some 30 grounds people, people responsible for logistics, almost 120 tradespeople, and
Hmm.
a large steam plant. And of course, I had accountants and financial and that kind. And I had small group of engineers, architects doing the design and construction. So it takes preferably an engineer to put all the pieces together. So I didn't have to have the details of how do you calculate the stresses on the beam, but putting it all together because you have aging infrastructure, you're building new stuff. Things are breaking. You need to prioritize where things go. You're coming up with new ideas for sustainability initiatives. So you need to have the basic understanding of how things work in order to support the people and manage them and give and really empower them to do the best they can. So altogether, you have a product that everyone is proud of.
Cool. Sustainability, that might be an interesting thing to dive into.
There is a whole bunch. So the university got a um, award from the region for replacing the old toilets and putting faucets at the aerator. So we saved huge amount of water. So that was an easy one. Um, my LNG manager or really mechanical engineer by trade. Um, they came up with an idea to reduce the pressure on our large steam plant, and that saved about $1.5 million in 1 year alone.
Mm.
Um, one of the other electrical engineers, he does more the building automation controls kind of stuff. So he started recommissioning buildings, and that too was able to find efficiencies where, because you build building and you set everything right, and over years you renovate and you do this and it gets out of whack. You have to retune it. So we saved money in that piece, but the one of the largest initiatives that is taking place right now is, as I said, it's one of the largest steam plants in the region, I think next to Toyota, uh, which once upon a time was a pride. It is no longer the pride because you have to use fossil fuels to generate steam. There is no other way. So they're trying to find a way to um, breathe in a little bit more energy conservation. And so that was part. Um, there is a lot of work that was done
I
to do
imagine.
the right thing and make things green.
Within the facilities management, I assume you had a number of engineers in training on staff working with your teams.
Yes, we had the engineering team actually wasn't really big because we were running rather lean, but we did have a number of EITs. We hired a number of co-op students. And one thing which I'm not sure that it actually materialized, but we were exploring the possibility of having our co-ops to work closely with trades. And the reason was creating sort of the foundational understanding that this is what trades do. This is what engineers do. That's how they connect and having the mutual respect for both. So I hope that it is moving forward because I thought it was really promising because sometimes we have engineering students that when they graduate, they had never been on site. They have no
Mm.
idea how a switch or rebar or something looks like. Like you're supposed to design it and you have no like sort of connecting the reality. I thought that was a really cool idea.
Nice. I'm really happy that the the PEO has this very active partnership with OSET, with the Certified Engineering Technicians and Technologists. We as a chapter, we've got a really good working relationship with our local OSET branch. But as you say, it just and the connection further with trades, it's so important. You you can't sort of design in a bubble or sort of engineer something without the practical experience of how systems work. We really need this whole spectrum of talents. I think you're right. I think you're spot on. I couldn't agree more. We met at our chapter's 30 by 30, one of the technical seminars or sort of speaker series that they held. Um, can you just share your thoughts on the idea of women in engineering, the goal of 30% licensed female engineers by 2030? This.
I think there is a lot of culture that comes. So let me just unpack it little by little. Me being a woman, I did structural design when I came out of school, and I loved it. But I had to leave the design office because working 60, 70 hours a week, traveling to the other side of Toronto and having a kid, it didn't fit in a day. So I had to say, okay, goodbye design office. I'm switching to a different field because the days have only 24 hours.
Mhm.
Um, I think through the years, there is significantly more girls going through university and engineering. And from what I understand, like in U of T, some of the chemical engineering classes are called FemEng, not ChemEng, because 60, 70% are girls. But that's not necessarily the same in computers or in civil or geological engineering. So I think when it comes to licensing, um, and trying to get 30% women is encouraging women from all the different engineering professions to license. Because if you get the electricals, the chemicals, the IT, as well as the civils and mechanicals, I think you will reach the 30% because many of the other, um, like the civil, you have to have your license, otherwise you cannot stamp a drawing. But in mechanical, you do not need a license to do a lot of the work. So many of them do not bother getting a license. So I think one of the pushes we need to do is giving people understanding is why do you want to be involved with a professional engineering organization? What does it do for you? And within that, sort of bring up all of the divisions and create much closer and tighter knit organization. If I were to give anyone advice, if you're curious, if you want to do something that matters, um, if you want to have many open-ended things that you can really do, because engineers can do so many things. Engineering is wonderful.
And actually, one usual end questions for my spotlight is what kind of recommendations you might give to somebody who would, interested in following your path. For,
I thought really, really hard about that one. And do your work. It is really hard. Look after your family. It's important, but look after yourself as well, because that's not what I did. I worked insane amount of hours. When I didn't work, I looked after my family, never mind sleep. So the thing about doing professional development, being involved with the association, I kind of let a lot of those things go because I had a job that I loved and I thought I will be there till I retire. Well, that didn't exactly happen, but looking back, I'm like, if I could change time, that is one thing that I would do. I would stay current with more stuff, get more involved in some of the niche, curious, really, really cool things, development that are happening,
mm.
and be more involved in the organization because you need your peers. You never know what curveball or opportunity comes your way. So if you're not involved, if you're not following up, you miss out.
Nice. Well said. Really well said. So looking forward, what's in your future? What's next for Stepanka?
Well, I am looking at what is the next chapter of my life, and I am working with a small consulting firm, three engineers, trying to come up with a facilities related app that would make life easier for people. And I am looking at other more volunteering, helping, and at the same time, I'm applying, trying to get back into this madness of things. So I'm trying to balance out which way is the best to go for me. But there are a lot of opportunities and challenges, and I'm excited. I have not, yeah, I don't sit still.
It doesn't sound like it. That's fantastic. Um, I imagine you're going to be very successful. You have I'm sure been responsible for a great deal and accomplished a great deal with your career so far. So I wish you all the best. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for meeting with me today. That's great. You've got a great story to tell, and I'm
Well,
glad that you were able to share it with us today.
it's really a pleasure, and if I can be inspiration for anyone, and I look forward to working more with the chapter and see if I can help other young people to achieve their dreams.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Pleasure talking with you today, Stepanka. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Thank you.